Hey launchers. So today I'm going to be a little risque and talk about something that everybody's going to agree with. And you may just not be at a place yet where you can truly tap into the power of taking responsibility for your present circumstances. I spent a lot of years blaming people in my life that I wasn't who I was meant to be because, I had to make sure that there was enough money for the house to cover it. So I couldn't follow my dreams because I was busy supporting someone else's, or I couldn't do those extra hours that I wanted to put in because I had to make dinner for the family. There was always somebody that gave me reason to stay small, to not tap into who I wanted to be. Basically, I gave away my power by assigning blame to others of why I couldn't do what I wanted to do, of why I couldn't be who I wanted to be. And the danger is that is you start to believe it at some point. And I know this because my own mother, who really, was a single mom when she had two young children, no support from my father. He just stopped paying child support and disappeared. And so she was trying to balance being a single mom, having to pay for this apartment on her own now, trying to finish her dissertation and her master's, and it became overwhelming. And she basically suddenly decided that, she deserved to just be given money from her mother because her mother had money, and that it should be hers, that at some point it would be hers and she should give it now. And when my grandmother didn't really jump at that offer, she started to blame my grandmother for all the woes in her life. It's because she didn't do this that she took a sabbatical for a year and never went back. That was my grandmother's fault. We didn't have a lot of money for food. Well, that was my grandmother's fault. She gave away all her power and believed it. And so rather than take actions to look and be resourceful and say, okay, well, this isn't what I want, but what can I do to change that? What can I do to be the narrator of my story, to take control of what is happening? There are always going to be things that happen that we don't like. Some that are slightly annoying, some that are really damaging. There have been things in my life that have happened to me that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. But I have a choice at every given moment to decide if that is what defines me or what breaks me. And if I give away my power of that decision and blame other people and put all the weight outside of myself, of truly trusting myself and stepping into saying, okay, this isn't what I want. This isn't turning out how I want it to. What can I do? I lost a lot of years in my own relationship with my husband because I put a lot of blame on him. I wasn't able to follow my dreams because I was busy. I had to be the one who made sure everything was enough. I needed certainty. So I was like, well, I can't take a chance and do that because I need to make sure that the bills are paid. I can't just go and travel because now I have animals, so I have to be at home. Like, I gave myself so many stories of why I couldn't do things. And really, they're a protection, right? We're afraid. We're afraid to step in. What if we fail? What if we don't do it? And so it becomes easy to put a reason. Well, it's not that I wouldn't do it, but I don't do it because of this external circumstance. Well, I got the wool pulled off my eyes when, my husband started to travel more and I had more free time, and yet I wasn't maximizing it. And I had to take a step back and say, okay, Sarah, your reason for not doing things right now isn't available. So what is really the reason? And when I was able to stop and say, okay, wait a second, let me take responsibility for what am I doing. It doesn't mean it's going to work out all the time, but I at least have to, if I want a fighting chance, I have to take responsibility for what am I doing? How am I participating in my own life? How am I writing my own story? How am I using what happens to support me in continuing in the direction that I want to go, and not using it like a warm blanket of like, oh, well, I can't try because of all these external circumstances. I'm not going to make it because this person won't let me, or this person doesn't believe in me. And so much of my message is really about how everything we need is within us. And what we need is within us is also a huge part of that is taking accountability and responsibility for how we show up for ourselves first and foremost, and how we know that good or bad things that happen, we get to assign, what does it mean? Does it mean it's my defeat, or does it mean it's a stepping stone and I'm going to reach past it and be bigger, better, bolder? And that is such an amazing distinction when we can truly say, okay, you know what? People are going to do things, or things are going to happen that I'm not going to like, and I'm not going to be happy with, and I'm not going to enjoy, and I'm not going to appreciate. But I still have the power to work past it, to build through it, to see what is something that I can learn. Even if I hate what's happening, what can I learn from it? How can I become better? How do I take responsibility for who I'm becoming and who I am being in the now? And when we give away that power and we give away that to other people, it's a really hard battle to step into who we want to be and truly create and develop our own personal strength, our own love of ourselves, of love of others, and to be able to move forward. If we're blaming everything around us, like, I mean, let's be honest, if you're driving down a road and a tree falls down, you have a decision to make. I can't move forward, there's a tree. That's it. I'm going to sit here and wait. Or we look at it and say, no, I need to get to that other side. There's a tree in the way. How do I call a friend that has a truck and pull it out of the way? Do I call someone with a chainsaw? Maybe I've got one in my own truck. Do I chop it into pieces and throw it in the truck and make firewood with it? But those are choices we make. So we can either see the tree as the reason we can't move forward, or we can see the tree and say, well, this really is going to slow me down. It kind of sucks, but I know there's a way over that tree. I know that I want to be on the other side of this, and so I'm going to do what it takes. But if we don't take responsibility for getting us over that stump or hump, then we're just going to sit there. And that doesn't feed your soul. That doesn't move you forward. That puts you backwards. That's not helping you grow. It's helping you shrink. And the power of truly understanding that in everything that happens, we get to decide if it's going to make us or break us. And my truest passion and my truest commitment to the people that I work with, the people that I guide, the people that just, if you're listening to this, that you're looking for ways to inspire and just get that spark going. One of the biggest pieces of the puzzle for me was to truly know that it's up to me to claim that I'm going to make it. I'm going to get through. I'm going to step over that stump. And I'm not saying you have to go it alone, because part of the process, and one of the things that's the most beautiful, is when, you know, the people that you choose to surround yourself with are ones that empower you, that uplift you, that support you. But that's a choice too. If the people in your immediate circle aren't those people, then maybe it's time to burn that bridge and to find other people. Or maybe it's a relationship, you know, with family, and you can't necessarily burn it, but you choose whether you're listening to them and allowing their thoughts to be yours, or whether you say, this is a global society. There are people out there. I'm going to find people who believe in what I believe and who want what I want and who are trying to get better every day. That is a choice. Everything we do in our day to day to day, is a choice. You don't like your job? It's a choice. You can stay or you can leave. There's everything that we have. We have the power within ourselves to make those choices that are going to bring us up, or that are going to keep us stagnant, or are going to make us fall backwards. And if I can impact, you know, share this with you so that you understand, as I said, not everybody's ready for this. I know horrible things happen, and I know there are things that we wish hadn't happened, but it is our choice whether we allow it to totally stop us in our tracks, or we give ourselves the time to digest and work through the emotions and work past it, but know that the moving forward is within us, and it is our choice. And there's nobody who is as responsible or who has as much vested interest in your advancement than you ever will. So if you're waiting on other people to be the ones who lift you up and who get you over that hump and you're just waiting for someone, you fall, that tree falls and you sit there waiting for someone to call you saying, hey, do you happen to need a chainsaw? That's not going to happen. Sometimes we need to reach out. Sometimes we need to take that brave step, but we have to understand that it is our responsibility and our power to truly take those steps, to pick up that phone and make that call, or to say, this is what I believe, this is what I want, and I'm going to surround myself with people who think like I do, and I'm going to find the resources I need to get to that next step. It is always a choice that is within us, and until we can embrace that responsibility, it is very hard to move forward. It is very hard to make the changes because it is too easy to fall back and blame someone else if it didn't work out, as opposed to tapping into that persistence and saying, no, it didn't work out how I wanted, but I know it's up to me. I know I can do this. And I know if this didn't work, then there's something else that is going to work. And I'm going to take charge and I'm going to do that next step. I'm going to take that next brave action and dare bravely and move forward. And it's just, as I said, it's not an easy thing. It does take some, I totally, as I said, I am, mea culpa. I did it for years. I gave away that power and I blamed other people for not, believing in me enough, or for circumstances to have, like many of us, well, if I won the lottery, waiting for something else to give me that go ahead to dust off and to move forward. But if you can dare bravely enough to say, you know what, I am responsible. Because even if there are people in your life who don't believe you, that is still a choice. You can decide, are you going to allow what they believe to become your thoughts, their defeats to become your defeats? Or are you going to say, no, I am responsible for what is happening to me long term, not the short, as I said. There are things that are going to happen we can't control, but we can control how we react to it. We can control what meaning we assign to it. We can control what we do with it to push us forward. Hard as it may be sometimes, but it really is a gift to give ourselves, to say, you know what, I'm taking responsibility for my part in my life and to do the best that I can with what I have, and to keep striving forward and to keep pushing and to keep daring bravely, and to know that I am the narrator of my story and I am not letting anybody bring me past or bring me down to a version of myself that I know I am less than. I am made for more, and I am ready to say, yes, it may be tricky. Many parts will be beautiful and wonderful, but it all is within yourself to truly tap into who you want to be, how you want to be, and whatever comes, know that it's within you to keep moving forward if you decide to. And I know you will, because you're made for more and you are a launcher. And I truly hope that you understand this comes from a place of love, because it is such a powerful awareness when we can truly take responsibility for what our part is in our story and how we play it out. Take care, launcher. I'll see you next time.